day to everyone. My name is John Marie Bingilo, and today we will be discussing about data processing of BS Marine Transportation. But first, let us know what is data processing. Hello guys, good day to everyone. So now we're going to discuss what is data processing. The data processing is an operation that performs upon raw facts, data, whether or not, by automatic means such as collection, recording, organization, storage, or alteration to convert it into useful information. Data processing usually involves three basic activities. The first is input, second is process, and the third is output. Let's talk about input. Input is a process through which data collected is transformed into a form that the computer can understand. It is a very important step because the correct output results depends completely on the input data. Activities carried out in data input are as follows. The first is data collection, the second is data encoding, and the third is data transmission, and the last but not the least is the data communication. Let's talk about data collection. Data collection, a stage of gathering raw facts from the environment and preparing it for the input process. And the second is encoding data, the process of converting raw facts into a form that is easier to put into a data processing system. And the third is data transmission, the stage of sending input data to the process and carrying it across various components. And the last but not the least is the data communication, a set of activities which allow the data to be sent from one data processing system to another. Process: transforming raw data into information by performing under actual data manipulation techniques. So, here is how it works. Instructions. User instructions. Central processing unit used to process data according to given instructions. Softwares used to give instruction to process data. Some data manipulation techniques are: the first is classification, 2. Storing, 3. Calculation. Let's talk about classification. When the data is classified into different groups and subgroups so that each data can be handled properly. Storing. Data is arranged into an order so that it can be accessed quickly when it's required. And the last but not the least is calculation. The operations are performed on the numeric data to get the required results. So now, let's talk about output. What is output? After the processing step, output is a generated. Output is where processed data is presented to users as useful information. An additional step to the data processing cycle is the storage stage. The storage stage talks about the information that has been processed is stored for future uses. This is the cycle of conclusion data processing. Data collection goes through the input data. Input data goes through to the processing. Processing goes through output data, and the last but not the least, output data goes through storage. The 5 different types of output files obtained as processed data. The first is plain text file, second is table or spreadsheet, Third is chart and graphs. The fourth is maps or vector image file. The fifth, other formats or raw files. First is plain text file. These constitute the simplest form or process data. Most of these files are user-readable and easy to comprehend. Very negligible or no further processing is this type of files. These are exported as Notepad or WordPad files. The second is table or spreadsheet. This file format is most suitable for numeric data. Having digits in rows and columns allows the user to perform various operations like filtering and sorting in ascending or descending order to make it easy to understand and use. Various mathematical operations can be applied when using this file out. The third is chart and graphs. Option to get the output in the form of charts and graphs is handy and now forms of the software. This option is beneficial when dealing with numerical values reflecting trends in growth or decline. Though there are sample charts and graphs are available to match diverse requirements, there exists situation when there is a need to have a user-defined option. The fourth one is map or vector or image file. When dealing with special data, the option to export the process data into maps, vector, and image files is of great use. Having the information on maps is on particular use for urban planners who work on different types of maps. Image files are obtained when dealing with graphics and do not constitute any human readable input. The fifth one is other formats or raw files. These are the software-specific file formats which can be used and processed by specialized software. These output files may not be a complete product and require further processing, thus there will need to perform steps multiple times. The four important data processing tools. First is surveying tools. Second is statistical tools. Third is calculation analysis tools. The fourth is database management tools. Surveying tools. SurveyMonkey software tools which help us in easily organizing those elaborated surveys to help us gather the relevant content from the right people. Statistical tools. SAS or it means Statistical Analysis System are statistical calculation tools that help in plotting those big graphs in charts to help us study certain relevant patterns and thus do effective comparisons and draw proper conclusions. Calculation and analysis tools. Excel and CLC are those mathematical software tools that help in applying relevant formulas to process the whole data. Database management tools. Access and Base are the tools that help us to manage a large amount of data that otherwise become too tedious to look after or refer to us and when we require to do so. Processing types on the basis of process or steps performed. These are various types of data processing. Some of the most popular types are as follows. Number 1 is batch processing. Number 2, real-time processing. Number 3, online processing. Number 4, multiprocessing. And number 5, time sharing. The three methods of processing. First is manual processing. Second, mechanical processing. And the third is electronic processing. Number 1. Manual processing. In this method, data is processed manually without the use of a seized manually, and all the calculations and logical operations are performed manually on data. Second is mechanical processing. This is done by use of a mechanical device or very simple electronic devices like calculator and typewriters. When the need for processing is simple, this method can be adapted. And the third one, electronic processing. This is the modern technology or technique to process data. Electronic data processing is the fastest and the best available method with the highest reliability and accuracy. The technology used is latest as this method use computers and employed in most of the agencies.